There are two types of people in the world. Those who have got a lot of knowledge about English but can't speak it well, and those who have got a decent understanding and can be the it person at the party. Well, what's the difference between them? And today we're going to be focusing on 3 essential facts of learning English. I would say 90% of people don't grasp the core issues, and you want to keep sailing without knowing there are some holes in your boat. I don't think so. If you want to be one of those 10% who can see the beautiful other side of the world, welcome aboard and stay tuned until the end of this video. By the way, hello again everyone, this is me, Chinatsu. I've got some action plans for you guys, which means you don't have to worry about anything. You can take a small step every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you have got any questions, comments, please let me know. I would love to hear what you have to say, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. Alright, let's get right into it. Firstly, let me highlight the common mistake. I think a lot of people have got this mindset, but they are not aware of it. Are you guys ready to hear it? Okay. Everything will go perfect once you can speak English. Well, no offense, but I think a lot of people have got this fantasy. I would call it fantasy deep down. When I came here, when I went on my first working holiday, I didn't even doubt that my English will get better, like instantly, as soon as I start living in an English-speaking environment. But as you can imagine, that was a huge mistake, wasn't it? Yes, of course, my English was quite incompetent. I thank myself for that. It helped me a lot. At the same time, on the communication level, I was clueless. Probably not as cute as Thai, but I just stayed silent in any social hangout. Everyone was talking about their own countries or what they miss about the countries or what they're going to do after this trip. Then I was just sitting pretty and I didn't say anything, right? And I was like, why has my life been so superficial? I don't know about myself. I don't know about Japan. I don't know about Australia. And I just realized that the issue was not about my English comprehension or how to, construct sentences in English, but it's more about me. My interpersonal communication skills. There is no difference between me who speaks Japanese and me who speaks English. So it's not like when I can speak English, everything will go perfect. I can talk about anything and I can be a nice person, if that makes sense. Have you ever seen someone acting like this before? Hey Gally, oh my god, I love it so much. Oh, what can I say? Oh my god, it's fire. Love you. Or in the contemporary societal landscape, the imperative of societal don't get me wrong, I'm not mocking those people, which sound like I do, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to use these examples because I think some people try to gratify themselves by acting like someone else. They are trying to fill a void of their insecurities, or they try to pretend like they can speak English. As you can imagine, it's not sustainable. Fundamentally quite fragile, isn't it? It feels better, but you're not getting better, if that makes sense. English is just a tool to present your personality or your thoughts to the world. If you've got nothing to give, the tool is of no use. Have you ever thought about this is actually one of the reasons why you can't speak English? Imagine a plate. So the plate might get bigger and bigger as you learn English, but what if you've got nothing to put on it? One important tip from me is ground yourself first. Start from within. Then I think you get to know the world more clearly. You want to be able to talk about yourself first. You have to understand yourself first, and then you can talk about, the jury system in Japan, what you like, what you think, what you don't like, what you value. You have to be able to talk about them in your native language first. I do recommend journaling. Understand yourself first and manage other stuff accordingly. Of course, continue studying English, but also see this practice as a part of learning language. People who can manage those two, I think they can they can have a real good time using their language skills. The next one is English often puts conclusion first, followed by explanations. For example, I don't like lamb because it stinks and I don't know how to cook it. In Japanese, I would go ラム肉ってちょっと匂いあるし、なんか料理しづらいし、好きじゃないんだよね。In Japanese communication, the emphasis is often placed on giving reasons before reaching a conclusion. Rather than explicitly stating our thoughts, we sort of guide the other person to guess what we think or our perspective. It's actually driving my friends crazy because I don't say yes or no clearly. Now we can see two distinct communication styles in Japanese and English. English tends to favor a direct communication. On the other hand, Japanese leans towards more indirect communication, which means we don't give a conclusion clearly, but we give hints. We sprinkle a bit of hints all over there. I do understand that it's not as straightforward as my theory, but I am not entirely wrong, am I? In English, it actually helps you to explain yourself better. I think, because, I believe, because, it is, because, I don't like, because, I like, because. You are entitled to say your thoughts and feelings honestly, like don't be scared. But after articulate what you think, explain why you got to conclusion clearly. Again, you don't have to be sorry about like how you feel or what you think, your beliefs and your thoughts and stuff. State it clearly, but also explain it clearly too. This whole thing actually makes me feel worried, or like more, I don't know, anxious about hassle study culture. I'm not against, studying English for certificate. I think it's going to be handy for your job hunting or for your confidence sake. But if you're only looking at translations, I think you kind of overlook this fact. You can't dive into the culture of communication. Mr. Steve, I made a video with him once. He said, do a lot of input. Do heaps of input. To be honest, it didn't click in me at that time, but now I understand why he said that, because from a lot of input, you get to immerse yourself in the culture of communication too. I think there is some beauty in the language. In each language. Sorry, it might sound a bit too theoretical, but I see the beauty in Japanese communication style. We don't say stuff clearly. We can't say stuff clearly, but it's actually because we expect the other person to guess what we think, because in Japan, we share the common, or I would say similar values under the same religion, culture. We share a long history in a small island. So when we say something, we can expect other people feel similarly too. I actually have seen some similar contents on YouTube, and I was like, it's totally true. So the culture in Japan reflects how we communicate in Japanese as well. It's actually beautiful and it's very Japanese. Anyhow, I think not many people are actually willing to see this kind of beauty. A lot of people go just, I want to get English skills quickly. I want to be fluent in English quickly. But if you can see this kind of fact, how you see language learning is going to change completely. I think your learning process is going to be engaging as well, which means your English is going to get better. Anyhow, I just wanted to tell you because that's something like I have learned from a long journey of learning English. And do you remember the magic formula? It's going to be our action plan. When you want to say something, say the conclusion first. State your thoughts or feelings first. And after that, what do you say? Because, and then start explaining why you feel like that, why you think like that. It's gonna be great. Start it from today. Okay, finally, remember that language is not just about translation. For instance, how do you translate into English? Of course, it depends on the context, but at my workplace, I would say, are you working tomorrow? Or it was a long day, hey. Or what's your plan for tonight? So, お疲れ様 worked as a greeting after a long day at work. It doesn't necessarily have to be about being tired. It's actually about discerning the roles of phrases. For example, later. In Australia, a lot of people say it later. I know some of you guys are not familiar with this accent, but I usually say later, but I'm gonna say later here. Okay, later is used when leave, not just as 後で later equals 後で well, not necessarily. Some people try to sort of dig in the meaning of this expression. Later, when does this person want to see me? No, later is just used as by. So it's not necessarily 後で会いましょう. In Australia, in many stores, you will hear sales assistants say, see you later. It doesn't matter if you see that person later, in the future again. In this context, see you later works as see you. That's all. No deep meaning. Just later. As Chris Lonsdale said, when you first understand the message, you acquire the language unconsciously. This means understanding the usage and context of phrases. So as long as you know how this expression works in a conversation, you actually understand the phrase. Action plan will be, when you watch movies or even like TV shows in English, don't center only on translation. Center on the role of phrases. Was it a greeting, agreement, disagreement, or just a casual banter? If you look at English from this perspective, I think English feels more fun and engaging. I think how you're gonna learn English is gonna be a little different from today. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by clicking the like button. And if you've got any questions, comments, please let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. Alright, I see you in the next video soon.